Alright, so as you can see here, we have the hood off. It is somewhere in a mysterious location around this property. And we are sitting here adjusting the valves because we haven't done a single valve adjustment since this cam has been installed, which was many burnouts ago. So, with that being said, we're pretty much just going around the whole car, checking for leaks, buttoning up everything that we haven't got to yet. As you can see, we have got the new intake on. It looks pretty good down in there.
Besides that, so we're gonna try to address that.
But in terms of buttoning stuff up, we still have to put a vacuum source off the back of this intake because we don't have the vacuum modulator hooked up. So just a few small little tweaks that we're gonna do. Give it a little bit of love.
I don't know, guys, what do you think? Oh, they haven't even seen the car since we lowered it.
Oh, well here, let me help you guys out.
There it is. So we're back on a street tire, as you saw in the intro. Cut the springs, dropped it down a little bit. That's a 26-inch tall tire. Still got some clearance in the fender, so it's not completely slammed, but it is pretty low. Probably a good 2 inches of ground clearance. So we're gonna adjust the valves, and that's about it.
Okay, so I'm about to adjust the valves on this. If you guys don't remember how to do this, I'll show you real quick while I'm at it. So I like to start here on my exhaust valve. So now we need to be looking at the intake, and we want intake to go down and just start to come back up. And then we can adjust exhaust here. So I'll show you that in just a second. Bump, 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 tiny bump. So as you can see, this has gone all the way down, and it's now going to start to travel back up a tiny bit. We don't want to go up too far. All right, give me a tiny bump. Another one. So that's fine right there. Now we can adjust this valve. So as you can see, we got a little bit of play here. I mean, I'd say that's definitely a little bit more loose than you would want at half lash. So it's going to be a little bit hard to get a feel for the push rod with raised guide plates. So if you ever have straight guide plates, you'll know that this is a lot easier. So anyway, back to the last clip, we have put this intake valve on the setting that we need to adjust this exhaust valve. So now what we're going to do here is not put the socket in there because we can't. So, damn.
I just took the mufflers off for maximum horsepower gains, and the car is so low to the ground now that the muffler brackets, well, the muffler clamps, they're really crude and ghetto, but they used to scrape on the ground for sure, coming in and out of like inclined surfaces like a driveway. Trevor's over here ripping the valves out of this thing, and we're just chugging along here. We're about to go clean these tires off real quick and get some rips with a fresh valve adjustment and a smaller tire. So the smaller tire brings it to a true 411 rather than the 28-inch tire made it like a 397 or something like that, 393. But yeah.
All to the ground. Alright, so we got the valves all adjusted. Everything's buttoned back up. Valve covers are tightened down. Hopefully no leaks. And we're going to throw this ignition on, and we'll give you guys a fire up video with no mufflers on.
All right, fresh valve adjustment, open header. Homie's cutting down the woods in the background. We got thunder over our heads and no hood.
It's on our maiden voyage, and the Camaro would not shift past first gear. So it has park, reverse, neutral, and I guess you could say drive. But no third, no second, and first. So I'm thinking probably we check fluid's good. We check the governor gear and the plate, and it's all shifting from the ratchet shifter in the car. It's moving fluently, so I don't think we have a stripped governor gear or any of that. And then I was doing a little bit of reading, and I have heard this is a common break when these transmissions start to act up, being it is a 350 hydromatic, so it's tough as nails. But the 2.3 spring for the solenoid could have snapped or got lodged up. So I don't know what to say. I think the Camaro's down on its luck right now. So we're gonna have to get to the bottom of this. The car runs good and it sounds good for the first 60 feet of it taking off. So we're gonna have to do some diagnosing and see exactly what the hell the issue is here. Because if we can't find it from cutting around it, then it's probably something internal, and that means the car is going to be down. So we'll get back to you with a solution maybe, or an update. Alright, so last clip we left off at the gas station. We were stranded, we were alone, our hearts were broken. We thought the Camaro was done for the season. But with the help of the internet and other transmission experts, which I don't do transmissions, all I know is that they shift and they get me to go faster. But I looked into a forum who said that this is common on the 350 hydromatic for the plastic gear to be stripped or broken, or the valves in here get stuck and they don't operate. Obviously, our first initial pull out was a broken plastic gear. So we will have to get a new governor, speedo gear. I don't know if it's called a speedo gear. There's like 3 different names for it. Governor gear we're gonna have to replace. So if you guys ever had an issue like this, you have an issue like this, if you pull yours out and you're not getting out of first gear, if you pull this out and the plastic's fine, you can see if the valves are operating. Because if we take a look right here on this first gear, pretty much solenoid or whatever you would say, valve, you can see that it opens, but 2 and 3 don't. Even though this is still sliding in the middle, you can see it moving up. So we have to get a new one of these, stab it back up in there, and we're wheels off the ground. Right, Scott? Yeah. Alright guys, so a little bit of an all over the place video, but who cares? This is what it's like in the life of 2 motorheads who constantly break stuff and need to get parts and can't get them local at a parts store. So here in Granville, Newark, Ohio area, this is Astro's. So the place has been open for years, and it's just a stockpile of pretty much everything from late 60s all the way up to probably 2000s. There are some more common vehicles, like newer vehicles, that come here, but not very often. So we picked up a new governor gear for the trans and the solenoid. As you can see, it looks pretty good. So now we're gonna go find some 2nd gen Camaros on the top of this hill and see if they have any parts that we might need.
Out here in the damn PUBG map. Got the bunker over here.
Woodpecker pecking away. Yeah, I can't remember where the 2nd gens are. We'll have to come back and do some more research. Some more, what do they call that? Archaeologist bullshit.
Excavation.
Get your nose up. Alright guys, so after a long trek up of, oh boy. Anyways,
we found the Camaros.
we found the Camaros, a couple later models, but
Look at this fuel line.
still a Camaro.
I don't see anything I need out of this one. Here's another one. I think this one's a Trans Am.
There's those crash bars you're talking about.
What, in the doors?
Yeah. What if we find a window crank?
I have one. You gonna be alright?
Alright, fellas. So, as we were coming down the hill, my left tire blew out. So she's a little sore, but we got what we needed. We seen what we seen, and we're out of this beam. Alright, so we're back at the home front with the new gadget we picked up. And now we're going to stab it in the car and put the cap over it, fill it up with trans fluid, and see how big of a wheelie it does. So, I'm really excited to see how this thing does. Right?
I guess so.
I guess it don't matter because it's going to be spinning anyway.
Right.
So, we'll put it side by side like how the last one came out. Side to side. Yep. Fuck it, let's roll with that. Should seal that.
It's atrocious.
I'll seal that.
Alright fellas, we're gonna fire it up, check for leaks after installing that new governor gear and spring. My head's pounding, but we're about to make the floor start pounding. Cold start Tuesday, is that what we